My name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to be in Proverbs 25, looking at verses 11 through 14, where we read, "Like apples of gold and settings of silver is a word spoken in right circumstances. Like an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold is a wise reprover to a listening ear. Like the cold of snow in the time of harvest is a faithful messenger to those who send him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of his gifts falsely." Well, here we have in these 4 verses 3 positive metaphors about faithful messengers and 1 negative example. We have in verses 11 to 13 things that go together, things that look good when put together. They're appealing to the eye, refreshing to the soul. The first one is apples of gold and settings of silver. I think it's referring to a table setting, obviously, as it can be visually stunning, very appealing to the eye, pretty. And the writer says this is like a word spoken in right circumstances. And again, 2 things that go together. A good word, a proper word, when coupled with the right circumstances for that word to be spoken, is a very desirable and beautiful thing. The right word at the right time in the right way. It could be a word of comfort, a word of warning, a word of caution, a word of encouragement, a word of counsel, a word of compassion. Many a good word has been wasted or been deemed offensive because the circumstances were not right. To give you an example, maybe a silly one, but maybe you have a friend who gets engaged to a person. You have reservations about the character and the honesty and the integrity and the reputation of this person they're engaged to. So you keep meaning to lovingly bring it up for months, but you don't. But when you go to the wedding and the minister says, if anyone knows of any reason why this couple should not be joined in marriage, finally you have the opportunity you've been waiting for. But that's not the right circumstance to speak the word. You missed the right circumstances months ago. There will be nobody at the wedding who was there who would compare your speech to be like apples of gold and settings of silver. They might compare it to more like rotten apples in a wedding present. So timing is important. If you have a word you deem to be important, pray for the wisdom to know the right time and the right way to say the right thing. In verse 12, we have 2 other things that go well together, an earring of gold and an ornament of fine gold. And he compares that to 2 other things, a wise reprover, which is someone who has good counsel, godly counsel, biblical counsel, advice, good timing, obviously. That goes well with a listening ear. When you put the 2 together, it's a perfect fit, a wise reprover and a listening ear. It just works, and it's wonderful to see it play out. When you see a wise person linked up to a person who wants to learn, maybe he's a mentor and a protege, or a wise golf teacher and an eager golfer willing to listen, a young student, people often marvel at what such relationships can produce. Then verse 13, we see another comparison, things that go well together, like cold of snow in harvest. Often in the heat of harvest, people would bring snow from the mountains to the field to refresh and cool their drink. No one working under the sweltering heat looks forward or thinks they need a nice glass of warm water. It's not very refreshing or appealing. The cold of snow and the heat of harvest go well together, as does a faithful messenger and those who send him. It's refreshing to those who send someone with a message to know it will be delivered on time, that the message will be spoken accurately. It's like a drink of cool, fresh water in the heat of summer to his master. That puts a smile on his face. And he's smiling as this person walks out the door to deliver the message because he knows he can trust him to carry out the task. The right timing joined with the right circumstance, a wise reprover joined with a wise listener, a faithful messenger joined with a trusting sender, are all beautiful, eye-catching, refreshing things to the soul. Compared to verse 14, the windbag who promises all these things, who boasts of gifts he doesn't have, wisdom he doesn't have. It's like clouds on a parched, dry land. You see them coming and you think, oh, it looks like rain. And you see this windbag coming and he thinks maybe he's bringing a message we need to hear. Maybe he's bringing some ice that will cool our drinks and refresh us in this heat. But he comes, but he never delivers. He keeps forgetting the message, or he keeps forgetting to bring the ice. He's useless. He has a messed up message and brings you a nice warm drink. Thanks for nothing. That's the windbag of verse 14. How many times have people wanted to say something and never had the opportunity, or took the wrong opportunity, or else we had the opportunity to say something but we didn't know what to say? We need to endeavor by God's grace and God's wisdom and God's strength to be people who have something to say and want to say it in the right time and in the right way, that we might be a blessing, that we might refresh the souls of the people God brings into our path. So maybe we'll be wise in how we help and how we teach and how we share encouragement and advice with others. And may this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life as we seek to live for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.